What's up? Hey, Dr. Kimberly, it says we're live up there in the corner.
Yeah.
See, folks don't know how we hang out in the green room, and sometimes I hang out in the green room for all of 10 seconds before the show starts. So, holy mackerel. Welcome to Tuesday, Dr. Kimberly. It's
It's
4 o'clock. You must be rolling.
we are rolling. Sounding just a little bit better.
I was going to say a little better. I see you're working on some tea or something.
Oh yeah. Just some tea. Some tea. I had to go to the hospital and and then see my primary care. And they gave me a couple of medications to kind of help and a whole bunch of appointments. So we're gonna get to the bottom of
Sure.
this.
Hey, are we still live, Dr. Kimberly, or
We are.
we seem to have faded in and out?
Yeah, we're still here. We're still live.
Okay.
It just says we're live. Yep. The counter is going still live.
All right. Well,
Yeah.
what's shaking? I
So
was
today,
asking to look like you were drinking some tea.
yes. So last week we talked about how the airlines, American Airlines, was awesome and wonderful, and now we got to talk about the hotel. Ugh.
Uh-oh, we got you from Grand Rapids through the airlines, O'Hare to JFK to downtown. Boom, you're at the hotel.
I am in New York. Whoop whoop. Not in Manhattan. So we're at the Hilton Garden Inn. Beautiful, beautiful hotel. I have been using the Hilton since about 2016, and they know me by name. They're like, "Oh, you're back." Yep. And I usually go over to Kansas, and so the Hilton in Kansas, oh, they know me down pat. They have my room ready, and even I hate to say it, even the staff, the cooks know me. So when I flew in the last time, they were like, "Up, I think dinner is almost over, but since it's you, just tell us what you want, and we'll have it delivered to your room." And I was like, "See, that's what I'm talking." And they have the fresh baked cookies and my water, and it's awesome, awesome. They have good customer service. Hold on, here we go. We gotta you just
Oh, a little cough, a little tea, and we're back.
and we're back. So, and the rooms are all they have accessible rooms, even for hearing. So if you are deaf and hard of hearing, they have a light that flashes to let you know that somebody's at the door. It's just awesome. However, this particular Hilton, I'm not sure why they haven't gotten the memo to upgrade. Mm. So what they've done for their accessible rooms is they put in a roll-in shower and a barn door, so that you can get in instead of a regular door, and that's their accessibility, or I should say their accessible wheelchair accessible room.
Right, right. So yeah, it would seem that they would want to update the room not only for accessibility, but for every once in a while you just got to freshen up the wallpaper and the paint and all that other rat. So how does that look in the hotel?
Say it again.
Just, just the overall decor, does that need a refresh?
Absolutely.
So yeah,
Absolutely.
they they should probably be working on all things, including and especially accessibility.
Well, one of the things in some of the older Hiltons, what they've done is they've taken a king suite and made it into an accessible room, which is wonderful. So really, just the only thing that happens there is that the bathrooms are made, with a roll-in shower. Excuse me, 1 second.
Oh, Dr. Kimberly went off air. And so, just as a quick reminder, that the Americans with Disabilities Act, Title III, clearly identifies hotels as needing to be accessible as a place of public accommodation. And so, that, again, a hotel needing that. Um, and a big myth about the ADA, and people will say it, is that, well, we're a old hotel, therefore we're grandfathered. Well, no one is grandfathered under the ADA. You have an ongoing duty if you're if it if your building is older than 1992, you have an ongoing duty to remove barriers when it's readily achievable. And I use the air quotes to directly quote from federal law and regulation. So the regulations say when it's readily achievable to do so, you have to remove the barriers. And readily achievable pretty much means how expensive is it, how much cost and hassle to remodel. If you're and how much money you have. If you're a massive international hotel chain like our friends at Hilton, I'm going to say they've got the resources. They've probably done a tremendous job at their other hotels. I'm guessing the one
Oh,
in
yeah.
Kansas, Dr. Kimberly, is all ready to go.
Which one?
The one in Kansas?
Oh my gosh, they are awesome, 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 awesome. We even the um, I think it's called Home for You or Home to You Hilton in Holland is even better. You get the beds are lower, all of the furniture is lower. They even have the ironing board and a closet that is wheelchair accessible.
Awesome.
The refrigerator, the kitchen, because that one comes with a kitchen, and everything is accessible.
Yeah. And so again, it's, just to paraphrase or to, a lot of times people will talk about mom and pop hotels or motels that
Hmm.
like that's their only location, and it might not be readily achievable for them. However, we're going to make the argument that you're going to make the money back if you're accessible, because you're going to now open up your hotel or motel to more customers, especially as more and more senior citizens hit the road after COVID. Um, and a lot of times, senior citizens come with a mobility device. So, again, accessibility makes awesome business sense. So,
Well, the baby boomers are the largest group of persons with disabilities, and they have the expendable income to travel. And so it makes more sense to make sure that you do have everything that's accessible. One of the things that Hilton did do, all of their new hotels are all ADA compliant. They have, full suites and rooms available. And then in the hotels where they did not, that were older, and what they did was the rooms that had the, what do you call it? Like where you could go from room to room, they were kind of connected with the door.
I call those the connected rooms.
Yeah, so with the connected rooms, yeah, they took that wall out.
Oh,
And some of the older ones, they took that wall out and opened it up, which I thought was really great. And unfortunately, the room that I was in was a regular room. So it wasn't even a king suite, and nor was it a connecting room where they could have opened it up. The only thing that they did in there was change out the bathroom.
Hmm.
And unfortunately, I didn't get the pictures uploaded. But next week, we'll have all of the pictures so that you can see. So even if I had brought my Bentley, the Bentley would not have fit in the room at all. I wouldn't have been
Wow.
able to get around. It wouldn't have gotten into the bathroom. I wouldn't have been able to transfer from the chair to the bed. And
Right, because that's a huge complaint I hear from people is that the beds are now on these pedestals, and so it's
yep,
so hard to, like you said, to just transfer over to the
oh
bed.
my gosh, the so the VA, they have a beautiful facility in Ann Arbor that if you have to have major surgery or something happens and you need to stay, you have extended stay at the hospital. So they have rooms for you and your family to be there. And that was my only complaint is that they have those old pillow top beds like grandma used to have. Now, while as nostalgic as it was, I couldn't get in the bed. But the bathroom, oh my gosh, the bathroom was to die for. It had wheel up counters. Um, it, it was gorgeous, 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 gorgeous. The kitchen, the sitting area, the dining area, everything was perfect. The only thing was just the bed. So,
Wow.
um, and I think that one, when I did the review, I uploaded the pictures and did the review. It's had like 2,500 views and thank yous.
Awesome.
So
Awesome.
I was like, yay. But unfortunately, I don't know why, especially where this particular Hilton is located. I mean, it's right across from a wonderful, wonderful dinner theater. And I mean, it's centrally located. You can get to everywhere from there. So I don't know why they would not have spent the money already to have just made the rooms available. Because many of the Hiltons, what they did was um, it was like 4 rooms per floor, is what I noticed. Is that they had 4 rooms per floor to be able to, use as accessible. And then they took either a king suite or one that had the adjoining rooms and redid those. And then they were able to open up that bathroom, and the opening a lot wider.
Yeah, I mean it. Yeah. Again, we said it, and we're going to move on. It makes tons of business sense. They they are in the hospitality industry. They do a fantastic job for us temporarily able-bodied folks. Um, you gotta complete the full array of your customers who come with wheels.
Yes. Now, what I will say, their customer service was bar none. Oh my goodness. The staff, what they just felt so bad. They were like, you know what? Whatever you want out of the store, well, you can purchase a package when you get your room to have snacks available in your room. You know me, I like snacks.
I've heard that said about you and by you.
It's like, oh, y'all having a meeting? Well, I'm coming. Do you have snacks? No snacks. I'm not coming.
No coming.
I'm not coming. Now I will come for snacks. But yeah, but they so in the package room that I got the one, where they had snacks available in the room. And they were so, I want to say, disappointed that they did not truly have an accessible room for me. They were like, look, every night that you're here, every day, whatever you want, you know what? We even give you a coupon to go eat for free at the restaurant, just whatever, because they have a restaurant that's attached and, for you to use. And they're
Yeah.
like, look, whatever we can do to make this even better, because we feel bad. We are really, really sorry because we do have it advertised that we have accessible rooms and we really don't. So I appreciated
Wow.
their staff. So you know me, I have my little purple bag, and I was like, no, we
We'll
got to
help we'll
fix.
help you make good. Again, it's that's their job is to take care of guests. And
Mhm.
it's awesome that they made up for the human side what they lacked on the physical bricks and mortar side. Very nice.
Um, and then they tried, if you will, to the next night to give me a room that they felt was more accessible. It was no better.
Uh-oh.
It was no better. There was no room to move around in the wheelchair. Um, yeah, it wasn't good at all. Not the room. I mean, it was neat, it was clean, and you know, usual Hilton, nice,
Right.
decor, awesome. Just it was not. When you see the pictures and you see my wheelchair, you're just like, what? It's crazy. And then the thing about it is they put in grab bars where there weren't any, and you got to put them in the stud when you get ready to put them in.
Yep.
You're talking about a person using their whole weight to pull their body up to transfer. So when I went to grab the bar, it came out of the wall.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, it wasn't nice.
It wasn't nice nor good.
No, at all.
Wow.
So I did get a credit to be able to stay for 2 nights when I come back, or any Hilton
Right.
to make up for it. And I was like, okay, I appreciate that. And then the staff were just so accommodating. When we moved our stuff out of the room, they sent somebody out up to help pack up my things to put me in this quote accessible room. And then they brought everything to the new room. So I didn't have to do anything. So I really appreciated that. And their concierge service was, his name was Hilton. Is that his name? His name was Hilton. They got cab service, made sure that it was an accessible cab for me to get in and out of. And then when it was time for me to leave, they made sure that they had someone out there at 6 a.m. to get me to the airport.
Wow.
So, I mean, their service was just there. I mean, it's what they do, but it was just the manner in which they did it. It was, going above and beyond to say, we want to show you. And the manager said, both of them, the day manager and the night manager, we just want you to know that we appreciate you coming, being here, and we just want to make this as enjoyable and as possible for you. We want you to come back. And I said, oh, definitely will. And but we want to make up for what the company has not done, as far as the aesthetics in the room.
Yeah, again, you know well
Yeah.
that the difference between people who are doing their jobs and people who are being of service, which happens to be their job, right?
Mhm.
Because the people who are just doing their job is like, all right, lady, we'll get your cab, as opposed to your cab's here, ma'am, right?
Oh, he made sure that the cab got there. We were there. We went out there at 6 o'clock. The guy had been out there like 15 minutes because he had told him be there by 5:45, just in case that there's bad traffic or they come down. But they told me, 6 a.m., be down. And I said, okay. We were down like at 5:55, and
Wow.
and they were like, your cab is waiting on you. I said, wait a minute, what? He's already here. So yeah, he's been there about 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes. And they said, we just wanted to make sure that, your taxi was here because we feel bad about the room. So the things that we can do well, we will for you.
Nice.
And I just appreciated it. And the night that I went to the show,
Well, that's the next question.
mm,
So, anyways, the night you went to the show,
they were waiting for me to come back and ask me how was it. I mean, the whole staff. When I rolled in, they all clapped, and I said, "Wait a minute, what's going on?" And so they had told, and other people were in the lobby. They're like, "What's going on?" Well, we don't normally see people of this caliber come to our hotel and just come because they wanted to see a show. That was only going to be one night for them. And they said, this is history for us. And I said, wow, really? They were like, yeah, because we don't have it happen. So for us to, see you, meet you, and then find out who you are and what you do where you live, they're like, well, can you move here? Just like, well, I think there'll be some people who might miss me.
yes, we would. So you got from here to there, from there at the airport to the hotel, in spite of the accessibility issues with the bricks and mortar, great customer service. But why
Now,
did you go to New York?
oh, we don't have pictures up yet
We don't.
because we gotta have the pictures when we say why we went to New York.
Okay. All right.
So one of the things that I thought about was because the manager said, I looked you up. I saw all the stuff that you do. Can you guys come to New York and do the same thing for us? And I said, well, I'm going to ask the question. Well, hello. So obviously, there's not somebody who has test pilots who come and
Right.
check because we've done that here. And so our hotels had some issues and they've been resolved. What does it look like for us to have a conversation to make what we do happen someplace else?
Well, I mean, the most important piece for us is, I guess, making the time and covering the costs. I mean, the reality is let's just say there might have been a resort up north, to go nameless, that might have had some actually allegations of issues,
Mhm.
which surprised a lot of people because a lot of people with disabilities use this, and different disability organizations use this space for conferences and such. So, anyways, they actually hired us to review the space and to see um, if there was any merit in the issues that were brought forward.
Mhm.
Um, and Shana, you were right. All over the world needs this, and how to create that. There's one thing to have a standard. You could probably Google it and get an accessibility guidelines for hotels. I think I'm catching I got a scratchy me throat. But to say that it's not the same as you allude to, Dr. Kimberly, to actually have test pilots
Mhm.
go and having the actual staff see it with you, where it's not, spoiler alert, folks, the test pilots went out this winter for World of Winter in the city of Grand Rapids. It was listed as like one of the top 10 winter carnivals in the Midwest. Great, great opportunities. Mark your calendar for next winter. And so we went down though because we have a great partnership and contract with Downtown Grand Rapids Inc. to check out the accessibility. And the night that Dr. Kimberly joined us, that she was doing double duty because she was also part of a photo shoot for Travel Michigan. That's a different story, a whole nother episode. But when we went down there, we were also, hey Amanda, welcome.
Oh, we'll tell you in just a second.
And so, anyways, we were down there and checking things out, and it's like when Dr. Kimberly was on her way to the ice rink to get some photos. Let's just say there's an awesome photo with Dr. Kimberly in purple with purple lights, looking all wintry in her purple wrap. But there's mats down there because people put ice skates on. That's an ice skating rink, and they make their way over. And the way the mats were overlapping, it created barriers for people both with mobility devices, but also people who might use a cane and can't lift their foot up. Mm-hmm. And then when you got to the edge of the mat onto the ice, there was it was almost a curb.
Almost.
Because we first tried Dr. Kimberly to go up forward, and it was like, this ain't going to happen. She's going to fall out on the ice. And Dr. Kimberly's like, no, Dave, let's try this backwards. And then we were able to get up on the ice and had a blast on the ice. But all of that piece, we're writing a report now. Again, Downtown Grand Rapids Inc. wants to learn this information. The vast majority of what they do is accessible. It's okay, let's iron out these last few creases. And some of them literally were creases. And so that's the kind of stuff we do with test pilots, as opposed to just me with a tape measure. Actually, it's Jackson with a tape measure. That's awesome. And it's more awesome when you show the actual humans with wheelchairs, walkers. We went down a week and a half after Dr. Kimberly was there. And unfortunately, we found a sidewalk that wasn't shoveled. And yeah, in one of the test pilots, his name is Chet, who is fantastic. Chet has a visual impairment in addition to his mobility impairment. And because the sidewalk and then the embankment were the same color, white as snow, because it was snow, he couldn't
differentiate.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. And so he didn't fall, but he almost fell because he stumbled down this little embankment. So luckily he didn't fall and hurt himself. However, again, all of these things, and then the irony that we went another 100 feet and the sidewalk was perfectly clean and dry. It's like, all right, we need to work on these things. But all that being said, we're the audience that we are delivering this report to wants to learn this stuff. And so again, as Shane is pointing out, having advocates to test the hotels, we definitely want to be doing that. And we need to have receptive audiences, because it's people who know this truly is about caring for each other. And if that doesn't count, you're going to make more money by investing a little bit more.
Okay. So we want to say good afternoon. Shayna is from Bel Air, Maryland. Bertaji is in Detroit, Michigan. Amanda, can you please let us know in the chat box where you are from? And you are watching Rolling on the Road with Dr. Kimberly and Dave. We are live every Tuesday from 4 to 4:45. And we talk about the intersectionality of disability.
And you know what Saturday is?
What's
Rhode Island? Welcome, Amanda. Saturday is April 1st, which means the month after next, it'll be our 3rd anniversary of doing the Rolling on the Road. Can you believe it?
Oh my gosh, 3 years.
It's 3 years this May, folks, that we started rolling on the road. And we've been all over the country talking with people. We have people listening all over the world. Again, we're telling it like we see it, as Dr. Kimberly pointed out. When there was praise to be given, she gave praise. When there were suggestions for improvement, she gave suggestions for improvement. And that's what we try to do as advocates here in Kent County. We've traveled to all our sister organizations around the state of Michigan. So there we're working together to prepare to get out in the community a little bit more assertively, so we can do this help businesses become accessible. If they're going to spend money remodeling, they might as well spend it right, because then we don't have to come in and, I don't want to say make them, but the law will make
We
them.
kinda do. So let's be honest. We definitely we do a call to action.
Oh, we do.
We do a call to action. So it's not that we are bullying people.
It's not right. There are people that get the label drive-by lawsuits, where there was, and it made it on TV8 only because it did, that there was a guy that had some accessibility issues at Tanger Mall, which is, just south of us here.
And it's like 2 blocks away from my house.
So Dr. Kimberly might know Tanger Mall. She enjoys shopping in fine shops, as opposed to me. I shop at Goodwill. And anyways, I don't want to make fun of Goodwill because I love them. But anyways, so he posted online at their Facebook page, hey, you guys got to make some changes. Well, this guy in Las Vegas, Nevada, an attorney, reached out and said, hey, if you don't make these changes, we're going to sue you. And then he said, here's how we can help you make the changes. And it was like $200,000 for their consulting services. And I know it was outrageous. And that's what gives us disability advocates in the generic a bad name, because this guy had no idea what really was on the ground. And then, of course, I know the manager at Tanger Mall. He used to be the manager at another mall in town that we worked with them on an accessibility issue, that he was fantastically supportive. So when he learned of these issues, he made changes. He didn't need to spend $200,000 on some consultants from Las Vegas. Nothing against Las Vegas, nothing against consultants, but $200,000 to tell you nothing.
But we live it every day.
Exactly.
And that's the piece that we bring to the table. It's not about, there's several things that have happened within our city, and we've gotten phone calls, and we go out there and they get taken care of. Is that we have the lived experience. And we're not looking to make a name or money. It's just about being able to have a good quality of life and to be able to enjoy life like everybody else does.
Yep.
We are doing well, Amanda. Thank you so much for tuning in. And we're really excited that you came and you joined us today. We hope to see you again next week as we finish up the reason why I went to New York. Yes, we're really dragging this little thing out.
Well, but again, I wouldn't call it dragging out, Dr. Kimberly. It's she's asking if she can ask a question.
You sure can. What's your question?
And while we're waiting for the question to pop in, what's been great over the last 2 weeks is we've been doing a great educational opportunity on the requirements of accessibility for travel, and not only the bare minimum requirements, how so many airlines, cab companies, hotels are going, again, they go above and beyond because it is about their reputation of being of service. Okay, Dr. Kimberly popped up. So again, last week, this week, great tutorial or in service on what does the ADA require. When it comes to the airlines, it's actually the Accessible Airline or Air Carriers Act that covers the accessibility of air travel. And then the ADA and local business or building codes cover the accessibility of the airlines. So we do not have CP, but we have one of our favoriteest guests through the years, and one of my coworkers, Patrick Parks, does. And so we have a number of we call each other conspirators, like it's a
Yes,
bad thing,
our-
because conspirators are people who breathe together. And so we conspire for justice, we work for justice and inclusion. So, anyways, we have, and a number of our test pilots are also people with cerebral palsy. So we want to be as inclusive as possible, because Dr. Kimberly's ability, slightly different than Patrick's, slightly different than other wheelchair users that come to mind. And that's why some would even say 100 shades of diverse ability.
yes.
There's 100 shades. But of course, that's just a metaphor, because we know there are thousands of shades. So it's all good stuff.
And thank you for sharing what your disability is. We appreciate that. Yep. I love what we do. And it's always nice when we have new people come on board. So we want to say thank you. We hope to see you back. And we have a plethora of topics. I mean, we've talked about church, we've talked about restaurants and coffee houses, theaters, airports, planes, trains, and automobiles.
Exactly.
You know, we cover it all. We even talk about houses. And so we did one episode where we came on campus, and we kind of got an opportunity to look at an accessible bathroom, an accessible kitchen, and I think, did you say, oh, okay, she said, thank you so much, Shayna. But we want to make sure that people are educated. And, you know, what is that? The more you know. Da-da-da-da. And it's awesome because we're in all 50 states and in about 10 countries. And so everybody's able to glean a little bit and take something back where they are. Probably one of my most favorite shows was when we were live and we had somebody from Nigeria, and we had a live conversation, and we had a long, really nice conversation.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
And we helped them to get some things done, or at least gave them a roadmap on how to get some accessibility and things done with Nigeria, and you know where they are, and even to partner them with a church or an agency that could help out. So we try to get folks connected to where they need to be.
That is a key, is to be connected, and connected to the resources for inclusion.
Yeah. So we want to say thank you so much. And if you are in Rhode Island, I believe Tina, she is in charge of RAMP is inclusion. And she's done some phenomenal work there. She works with the governor, the mayor, and I can get her information to you. I'm going to write your name down real quick so that I have it here. Let's see. All right. Amanda Garcia in Rhode Island. And I'm going to connect you after the show via Messenger. Hopefully you're on Facebook, because I see your little thing. So I'll connect you with Tina. She's in Rhode Island. So if you have any questions, any problems with accessibility, she definitely can answer those questions. And this is what I love about doing Rolling on the Road, is that we've met so many people across the United States. He didn't tell you that we even went to California to the Centers for Independent Living there. We've been to Wisconsin. Who else? Oh, we've been down to Atlanta
Yep.
and helped them. And we've also Shannon is the executive director for the Center for Independent Living in in Jersey. They have a lot of great services there. So, but definitely Tina is your person for Rhode Island. Because I think she said Rhode Island is about as big as Kent County.
It's definitely a nice tiny state.
Yeah. So she's got a lot of work. She's done a lot of things, raised a lot of money to make sure that persons with disabilities are living a good quality life there. And she has all her elected officials on board
Awesome.
from the governor on down. So definitely we'll get you connected. So if there's any resources that you need, you will definitely be taken care of in Rhode Island. Love it, love it, love it. And this is why we do what we do, Dave.
This is totally why we do what we do. Is again, it's we're we won't start reminiscing until May about what happened 3 years ago. But it was basically people
Yeah.
had too many questions. Again, that was only month 2 of the lockdown. What do we do? Not do? We started rolling down the metaphorical road, and we have been both metaphorically and electronically rolling all over the world
Mm-hmm.
to help people get connected to information and resources. Because yeah, there is
Oh,
there's no reason other than people's bad choices that we don't have inclusion.
mhm. But I
Thank you,
love it
Pratanji.
that we have the opportunity to shine the light on those who are inclusive and can tell you, from not just, from Michigan, but from state to state, we can tell you who's doing what and where you
Yep,
can go. And
yep.
this has been nice to talk about travel. Next week, we will have a ton of pictures so that you can see, what it looks like. I was laughing today because when I was looking at the picture, the difference between first class and coach. So in first class, when you ask for a coffee with Bailey's, it comes in this beautiful mug, and there's a tray that comes out in between the chairs. And but if you are in coach, they just bring you a plastic cup with coffee in it, and they bring you the little
The airplane bottle.
and they just said, "Down there you go." Man, I was laughing so hard.
That is unfortunately something to laugh about if we're not crying, because in coach those seats get teenier and teenier and
And then when I looked at I took pictures, the difference between the first class seats and the coach, I was like, so I say, anybody who is going anywhere, please save up the extra money. Don't get that McDonald's and that pop or, some of the other things that you like. Just and save that money and go ahead and buy you a first class ticket. Trust. Get you a first class ticket. Because I thought it was so funny that it's called onboarding. So as a person in a wheelchair, you're the first one on the plane, but you're the last one to get off, which is, not a big deal. It's nice actually, because all those people are clamoring and, you wait till everybody clears out. And once they're gone, it's like, yeah, it's wonderful. And so as so I came on first, I'm in first class and I'm sitting there and they said, while the others are onboarding, can we get you something? And they have this beautiful basket that has a plethora of snacks. You have like 10 different things to choose from. And then, your stuff comes out in glass, and it was wonderful. But if you're in coach, you don't get the onboarding service. Once the plane is up and it's about 15, 20 minutes into the flight, and they close that curtain, then they come, and you don't get all of that wonderful stuff. You just get those little biscotti biscuits or something like that is what they gave them back there in Coach. I said,
That or like a little thing of almonds. You get a choice.
oh, they didn't have a choice. They just they had plastic cups and
Throwing them out.
and a cookie. Here you go. Here you go.
Grab one if it flies by.
And it's just like, I said, oh my gosh, it was different. And the people back there, I heard somebody make a comment like, really, they just gonna close the curtain, and when they close the curtain, and it's like, ooh, yeah, spend the money, spend the money, spend the money. Seriously, you only live once.
Yes.
Unless you like me, you died and they bring you back. And if you die and they bring you back, then you definitely want to fly first class. Yeah. You definitely want to fly first class. But it is now 4:45. And we will finish up and we will have pictures.
Pictures next week. So last week we made it 30 minutes. This week 45. Dr. Kimberly, oh, the little cough there. Your voice is getting stronger, but still not returned fully. So keep resting that voice.
I have been. Amanda, we want to say thank you to our new viewer, Amanda, for tuning in from Rhode Island. And we hope to see you next week so that you can see as this unveils as we talk about the last place that was accessible and the reason why I flew to New York.
Awesome.
All right. We thank you for tuning in.
See y'all.